Well, greetings again, and we're going to continue with our teaching for pediatric dentists. Or if you're a dentist and you work on a lot of children, you ought to know these things and you ought to be able to do them, and you can go ahead and do them. You can learn how to do this stuff. If you can't get it from the videos, come to Grapevine, Texas. Now, I realize we're sending this stuff all over the world, and people can't get to Grapevine to learn it. So you're going to have to really go over it carefully, and you can learn how to do it. I'll try to tell you everything I can possibly think about on how to get there. So this is number 7 on straight wires. Now, this is like straight wire, except it's just a better straight wire. It's straight wires. The orthodontics is quite different in lots of this. Instead of straight wire, they wouldn't let me use that term, so I just changed it to straight wires. All right, let's get started on this case. I'm going to just run through the whole thing, and you can see exactly how, and we went through most of it in showing the pulpotomies. So let me get to going here, and I'll get to this same little girl, see, that we worked on. Now we took this down and this down over here, and you see it showing you the pulpotomies. And I'll show you how these teeth move into place. Now, watch this gap right here, and this tooth behind here. I can't take pictures enough to go in there. This is what we use, a long tapered diamond, or it's probably better to get a long tapered carbide burr and use a clean one every time. And you're going to go in there and take that, you cut the tooth with it, and then you take that same burr and run it down the roots here, you run it down in there, and then you push the zinc oxide eugenol really thick. You pack it in there. If it runs out the tip, it has never bothered us. I can show you cases where the piece of it is staying there. It doesn't bother at all. And now we mix it up, pat it out with your thumb just to get all the eugenol out you can, and then you cut it with a spoon like that, and you can take it and push it down into this pulpotomy, and we push it into the blood. It's no problem at all. Just push it down in there, and you pack it with amalgam packer. Just shove it in there really hard. I've done over 1,000 of these, and I've never had one that I did that went bad. I'm going to show you one situation here where an old surgeon and he's an old surgeon and a MD surgeon too, but he didn't know how to do the pulpotomy, and he did it, and one of those blew up, but it still works. So I'll show that later on. Now, when you cut these teeth off, you can go up here and smooth it out. You don't want something sharp there to cut their lip. And as that tooth goes in, of course, you go immediately to take the other side, and you do now that's an amalgam plug. We mash down there real good, put some more on there, and push it in, smooth it off, and that stays in there. And you do not need to put anything else. Now, I've lectured one time in Boston, and there were pediatric instructors there from 3 different dental schools, and they wanted to mix something in there stronger, but you do not need it. I've done 1,000 of these, or at least, and I've never had one of them go bad. I've told you that before. That was it. All right, we did that. You see, these moved over, and this tooth now has room to come in. And we if you pull these deciduous cuspids, the permanent cuspid is going to come up in where the root was and move forward, and you will lose space in the arch. And I'm telling you, that is a fact. It is not the best thing to extract the teeth. The best thing is to do the pulpotomy and give those teeth just a little bit more space than they need, and the tongue will push these teeth in line, and the lips will line them up out here and move those teeth in there. You don't have to put a blooming thing in there. You just go in and help them. Now, these are moderately little excessive crowding in the teeth. Need this. A lot of kids don't need it at all. They'll come in on their own and have room in here. But these cases did have a room, and they come in there to show you these laterals don't have room. They said this was a room here. We cut this tooth off, this much of it, and this tooth will come in, and the tongue will shove it up into here, and the lip will catch it. It'll even straighten this tooth out, and this tooth will do the same thing. I didn't touch the teeth themselves. I just gave them space. And that's the way to learn. This is better orthodontics. I don't care what you put on teeth. If you could get nature to bring them in, that's better than anything you can do in straightening teeth. Now let's watch these go. And you come back, you see this is lined up pretty good right here. And then we'll take the deciduous molars out, and the permanent cuspid will come in here. But if I had extracted this, that cuspid would have drifted toward this, and you'd have problems, greater problems that you probably would not correct. All right, look how close this came. You can come in and take a little more off. There's no feeling in that, and get this to come up there. But when this goes and this comes out, this tooth will come back and give it a space, and this can be pushed into place here if they're swallowed correctly. And if they're not, when they get through, you can put some stuff on there and make a very simple second phase part for the pediatric dentist. All right. Let's watch. Now look at where those came in from up above. This tooth right here is still not lined up exactly, but many people have minor things, and you make dentures. A lot of times you do the teeth in there a little bit to make them look more natural. All right. You see where the cuspid is going to come up in underneath this tooth, and it comes in, it pushes this, but you're going to try to get this to straighten up while it's coming in. So you can see where the cuspid is here and see where this one is. Watch that move into place now. All right, while we're waiting on that, we're going to cut this tooth down with a long tapered diamond. We take this out. This is a long burr with a little head on it like that, and you can pulp it in, push it in here and go down. They pulp it out a little bit on both sides, and you do not need a thing else in there. You don't have to crown this tooth. Get rid of these stainless steel crowns you stick on these teeth. Go in there and learn how to take care of them. I use very few stainless steel crowns. They're all right when you have to use it. Now we're going to take this at an angle, go in here and go down in the root a little bit, go over and go down in the other root canal. Now we're in there pretty deep. You want to watch what you're doing. that washing machine going downstairs is kind of bothering things. All right, we're going to pack that zinc oxide and usinol, as I showed you a while ago. While you're doing is they don't think very kindly of it. But look where the midline is now. It went there without me touching this case. It went to that point. And that's what I'm trying to get across. Nature is doing the tooth movement in this case. We are helping provide the space for it. Now we're going to do it further. Now the second bite is coming in. This first bite was here. It comes up and gets in the line. The tongue pushed it in there. I didn't do anything to it. All right, both bites, the first bite's in there, the cuspid's in there. And we're going to go on the other side, the same thing. Now, you can see how this took this. This is a little problem right here. And maybe we get this to shift in this direction a little bit. This will have to have some space. Now the other teeth, these are permanent teeth that are lined up, and they look almost clear. There's a difference in the structure of these teeth, and these are deciduous teeth. This is a permanent tooth now. All right. And here's the little girl after we're just about finished with her. And so she's happy she's got this. And I told you before, she got off, wasn't married, and then later on she brought her little child back in for me to look at. And that's the end of that again. And so I'm going to close out, and I'm going to stop this time.